Before I get started with this story, I have to give a shout out to Peachy King for actually sending it to me. And this is a story right here that I wanted to talk about on my channel a couple weeks ago, but due to the lack of any type of media coverage surrounding it, and I do mean absolutely none, there was nothing I could talk about when it came to this. I heard about the person's name and I saw his picture, but I didn't see any articles written up about him. So this man's name, or this 21-year-old man's name is Victor Perkins, and he was found dead, hanging from a tree with his hands tied behind his back. Now I want to know, are they going to try to say that this was a suicide? I haven't read the article yet, but you know how they like to say when it comes to black men and them being found dead by hanging or by lynching, and they like to say that it was a suicide. Now this story, like I said, the article was written on August the 2nd, 2021. He was found a couple days before. And today I'm recording this video on August the 19th. Almost a month has passed since then. And nobody, except for a few people who do the type of videos that I do, and that's even a small few, have mentioned this story. And it's not our fault that we didn't talk about it. It's because no lamestream outlet put anything out there about this. Now, they have put out articles before in the past about black men being found hanging, and they always like to say that it was a suicide, which we know was some bullshit. But this one right here is very impossible to say it's a suicide, although they did say that one with a black guy that was in the back of the cop car with his hands cuffed behind his back managed to somehow shoot himself in the head, which I will never believe that. But this one right here is a completely silent story. So quiet you could probably hear a mouse piss on cotton. That's how quiet this story is. So I'm going to go ahead and read this article that's coming from whereisthebuzz.com. And that's an appropriate website title to go with the story, because there is no buzz around this story at all. A 21-year-old black man named Victor Perkins has passed away. Perkins was laid to rest at the Circle of Life funeral in Camden, New Jersey. Now, this is New Jersey. This is not the South. So people like to think or associate lynching with the South. It happens everywhere. This happened in New Jersey, in the Garden State. No cause of death has been confirmed yet, as no health issues or other causes of death has been learned to be associated with the passing. Perkins was allegedly found dead with his hands tied behind his back while he was hanging from a tree, according to the Inclusive Freedom Instagram post. The Instagram post also states that he was a few minutes away from his house where his body was found, and it happened in broad daylight between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. They said it happened, he was really close to his home. Now, if you remember, there was a lynching that happened with a black man, and they found him dead in his mother's backyard. If y'all remember that, I think she was an activist, and it was somewhere out in the Midwest. And they tried to say that was a suicide, even though when they found him, not only was he hanging in his mother's backyard, but his pants were down by his ankles. So they tried to say that was a suicide. See, it's easy to say it's a suicide. That way they don't have to investigate anything. We have yet to confirm any of those claims that Inclusive Freedom have made on social media. All we have confirmed is that Victor Perkins has passed away. We have reached out to Atlantic City Police Department and more information on Victor Perkins' passing. And that's all they have. That's all they have from this article. This one article that was written up about this man is that short, doesn't have that much details outside of he was found hanging in broad daylight. He was few feet away from his home, and his hands was tied behind his back, and that's it. Nothing else. And if you go and type his name into any of search engine or try to find anything else, there's nothing else there either. Like, they are being very, very quiet about this. I personally believe that this man was murdered. No need to say, oh, it was a suicide. Forget that. This was not a suicide by far. This man, in my opinion, was probably targeted, and he was killed. Only 21. Only 21. And this looks like a fairly recent picture of him. This may be a high school picture. But yeah, that's crazy. That's weird. if I have any subscribers who live in the state of New Jersey, can you tell me, even though I already know the answer, did you hear about this story? I'm willing to bet it's probably no. I wish I would have got this story out sooner, but like I said, there's nothing out there on this. It's almost like they treating this person, his Victor Perkins, as if he was a phantom and he just vanished, when that clearly wasn't the case. And they said it happened in broad daylight. So you mean to tell me nobody saw anything? This wasn't at night. It said between hours of 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. when the sun was up, people were out. It's the summertime. Kids was out of school. So nobody saw anything. But anyway, I offer my condolences to this man's family. And that's another thing. I don't see anything about them talking to his family. Nothing. I don't even think they even did a news story about this. Like, people had to dig to find this information. And if they did do a news story about it, they only talked about it probably one time. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments.